I'm in two camps with this scenario as far as dark skin, light skin. And listen, before we get into the topic, colorism. We officially have both Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan and John Stewart, casted for the DCU, but it comes with a controversy. So as you all can see on the screen now, James Gunn did officially announce that Kyle Chandler will be Hal Jordan again. It was talked about weeks ago. I made a video about it, but it wasn't officially announced. It was, it was headlines for Variety and Deadline, things of that nature. But now James Gunn has said, he is going to be our Hal Jordan. So congratulations to Kyle Chandler. I spoke about that in previous videos. So if you want to get my thoughts about what I think about Kyle Chandler, check out those videos. But moving on to Mr. Aaron Pierre, who I have said in a previous video that I thought that he would be the best fit for the role. I just think physically, I think he's great for the role. I also think he is a great actor. And I'm not, listen, Rebel Ridge put him on the map, and that just came out less than a month ago. And a lot of people think that that was how he got the movie. Like, this stuff happens months in advance. So, like, they were probably already in the Aaron Pierre camp way before Rebel Ridge hit Netflix. But it just kind of obviously boosted his stock with popularity amongst, regular audiences. But I'm pretty sure he was on their radar for a while in regards to this role. So I thought this was a great decision to have Aaron Pierre in the role, and I've said it in previous videos. I'm a big fan. I'm not, again, just jumping on the bandwagon like some people have done recently, which is fine. But I've been following this young man's career since seeing him in Barry Jenkins' 2021's TV show, Underground Railroad. Saw him obviously in M. Night Shyamalan's Old. He was in a film called Brother, which is on, I believe it's on Netflix. If you haven't seen Brother and you want to see more of him as an actor, watch that film. Very vulnerable role, but also very, kind of he has that screen presence. It has that type of persona to him that you can just tell he's a star. So check out Brother. He did a film on Amazon last year that was super underrated by the name of Foe. It's Paul Mescal, Saoirse Ronan, and him. I mean, you're looking at three of the best up-and-coming actors or presently actors that are just making a name for themselves. So check out that. And then, of course, we know him in Rebel Ridge. So been a fan of his for a while. Think he's great for the role. Happy to see him in the role, and I'm excited to see him and Kyle Chandler going back and forth and seeing this relationship come to fruition and get this DCU Green Lantern Corps started. So I'm excited for it. But it doesn't come without its controversy. So when Aaron Pierre was announced, if you guys are on social media, there was a lot of positivity surrounding the announcement. He also posted it on his personal account, being, very thankful for the opportunity and excited to get to work. But then there were some people, and this is the way I feel about it, as far as he's not black enough to play John Stewart. If you guys don't know, the creator of John Stewart has recently came out and shared his 2 cents on how he always envisioned John Stewart in his mind as a darker skinned character. And, he had his thoughts on it. There's other people that shared their thoughts on it. And I'm in two camps with this scenario as far as dark skin, light skin. And listen, before we get into the topic, colorism is a real thing, especially in Hollywood, and not just in media, but housing, healthcare, businesses, political things. I mean, colorism is a real thing, and there's so many layers and depths and complexities to this conversation. I mean, hell, there's another conversation that could be had about, I know Aaron Pierre isn't from the U.S. He's, I believe he's from Britain or somewhere in England. So there's a whole conversation about people from the UK taking, black actors from the UK playing American icons, from, Fred Hampton was played by Daniel Kaluuya. Even Aaron Pierre played Malcolm X earlier this year. So there's an even conversation about how, Hollywood looks at UK black actors versus, American bred actors. So there's so many layers, so many depths and conversations to be had. But I don't have any pushback. I don't have any complaints about people that have said, and I've seen the comments that I think have explained themselves in an elegant and also intelligent way of describing how they feel kind of disappointed. I've seen people say, listen, shout out to Aaron Pierre, great actor, excited to see him in a role, but I do wish that they would have casted a darker skinned actor. Whenever I saw that, I completely understand it. I'm not going to push back on it. I've seen some people say how their parents are military men. They've always liked John Stewart because he looked like them. And there's so many things. Representation is a big thing. It's a real thing. It needs to be talked about more. And I don't have any malice or disagreement or pushback with people that feel that way in that camp. My issue with the conversation is he dark enough, light-skinned, he's too light. is the comments that are coming at Aaron Pierre saying that he shouldn't look at the role. He should, rescind the offer. He shouldn't take it as a career opportunity. And also, I just look at it at the other side of colorism, as far as everyone has their story. Everyone has their path to where they are now, right? I mean, the whole "you're not black enough" conversation is probably something he's faced growing up, coming up in the Hollywood system, or getting his name out there. Him maybe missing out on opportunities because he is light-skinned, right? I mean, think about Rebel Ridge. John Boyega was going to play the character. Obviously, he dropped out, and then Aaron Pierre came in. So naturally, different looking actor, obviously with different acting sensibilities. So I think the idea of how people are saying Jon Stewart isn't black enough, who they cast in the role, but then the idea of like, well, how does that make someone feel, right? As far as Aaron Pierre, by all accounts, I don't know him. I think he's a good dude. I think he definitely deserves this opportunity. But I just look at it, like I said, when people are like, "You're not black enough, you should be dark," like that, just to me, that's where I push back, right? It's like, don't be mad at him. This is a much larger conversation that needs to be looked at from a Hollywood perspective to make that change. But yeah, I'm happy with the decision. And like I said, I understand the pushback from the more understandable people out there that's, sharing their thoughts on the real issue of colorism. And it's not just for blacks, African Americans in Hollywood. It goes for, Latinos. It goes for, men and women across the landscape of Hollywood. So it isn't just a black thing. So it's an issue that needs to be discussed and needs to have some type of resolution, because it is not just a today thing. It's been going on for decades in Hollywood. And I am hopeful that this is just a conversation piece as far as the negativity for Aaron Pierre just for the next few days. And then hopefully when you see him in the costume, you see him in the trailer, you see him in the show, we can forget about this conversation and just appreciate the actor for who he is. And I'm always someone that says that hopefully, when it comes to these decisions, whether it's Kyle Chandler or whether it's Aaron Pierre, they pick the best person for the job, right? We always talk about the whole Hollywood agenda, checking off a list, this, that, and the third. But I'm a person that believes in, when it's called upon, if it's not like detrimental to the character, like in a conversation like this, having the right actor for the role. Best actor for the role. And I think that's the case in this particular scenario. So congratulations, Kyle Chandler. Congratulations, Aaron Pierre. I'm very excited to see you guys play the respective roles of Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. And I'm excited. I'm super excited for this to come to HBO. By the way things are looking, they're going to probably get cameras rolling early next year. And we might get this show late next year, 2025, or, obviously 2026 after the Superman film, and maybe before even Supergirl. So let me know your thoughts about, again, Kyle Chandler, Aaron Pierre, respectfully having the conversation about, the light skin, dark skin, colorism within the Hollywood landscape, but as it pertains to this particular role. And let me know when you all think that we might see this on HBO. Will it be the end of 2025? Will it be 2026? Let's have some respectful conversations about these topics in the comments below. Thank you all for making it to this point of the video. I have a lot of, for my movie fans out there outside the DCU, a lot of reviews out, a lot of reviews coming out. We're getting ready for the big time of the year with Oscar award-winning type of film. So a lot of stuff coming to you all, a lot of reviews, coverage on the Penguin. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification. That way you don't miss out on any of that content. You all are awesome. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all on the next video.